Action every PM. Sports from the Heart, only on Sports Highlights.
Ground control, come in. It's the space station. We have an unidentified object for review. Over.
Go ahead, space station. Object tracking available.
It seems to be.
Go ahead.
Go
ahead, space station.
Okay, I've made my decision. It's a cricket ball.
What?
6. You big out of the park and into the sky.
The ICC Men's T20 World Cup.
It's out of this world.
CK Grace and Company is the number one supermarket for 100% intention. The Intention Supermarket. We've got more of what you're looking for in multiple locations to serve you more and more. In business now for over 50 years, and you will always save by shopping right here. Oh yes, we're number one. CK Grace and Company, and we are Vincent John, a supermarket for you and me.
Looking for sporting gear for all sports? Well, there's only one place to shop. ComSport. ComSport supplies gear for cricket, soccer, netball, table and lawn tennis, track and field, and more. ComSport provides brand name soccer shoes, socks, shin guards, balls, slippers, goalkeeper gloves, and many more accessories. Plus uniforms, complete with tops, shorts, socks, and numbers. Also in stock, cricket gear, balls, pads, shoes with spikes, back gloves, netball shoes, balls, and bibs. And top it off, ComSport has introduced a new line of trophies for all events. It's located in the Computech building on the second floor, opposite the financial complex on Bay Street, Kingstown. For more information, call 456-2691. That's 456-2691. ComSport.
St. Vincent Containers proudly introduces its high-quality bathroom tissue. Furtis, Lilies, Midushi. Manufactured to conform to local, CARICOM, and international standards. Tested and certified by the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Bureau of Standards. No roll less than 300 sheets. Legitimate sheet and core sizes. Virgin pulp, no recycled. Soft but not lightweight. Professionally produced package. Now available throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Furtis, Lilies, Mitushi. Excellent Vincentian products.
Instacash, giving you the chance to win more money from the National Lotteries Authority. Get our new $2 game, Money Tree. Match at least 4 symbols and win cash up to $3,000. There's also 5 times the cash for $2, 10 times the cash for $3, and 20 times the cash for only $5, offering you up to $10,000. Win instantly with Instacash, where there's no waiting for a draw. Instacash, fast, so easy to play.
The public is asked to note that chiropractor Dr. Edmund Seeley is now conducting clinic and will see patients by appointments only. To make an appointment, call 456-9318 or 531-5318.
Good day, listen to Nice Radio's Sports Highlights. We start half an hour earlier. We have Carnival Tents. It's the Carnival season. Normally we do this. We will go right up until the tent is ready to come on air. But we want to start today with an interview I did on Tuesday with the president of Cricket West Indies, Dr. Kishore Shallow. And I think it's something for those who have missed it. We're going to play this back for you to start our sports highlights. So the next 40 minutes or so, listen up. Good morning, Dr. Shallow. How are you, sir?
Good. I hope you're well.
Yes, okay. Sorry, I forgot to switch on your actual audio channel. Sorry about that. What you said? I just put you back there. What you said in your opening?
I was saying good morning to you and all your listeners.
Okay, thank you very much on behalf of all my listeners. And the first of all, let me just say I know that we always sometimes start with the things that are not so pleasant in our lives. I know that you buried your father on Sunday, and we continue to lift you and your family up in prayer. Okay.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay. All right. World Cup is right around the corner now.
It is a matter of days.
A matter-
Our first match is on Sunday. That's West Indies' first match, and the first match in the Caribbean is on Sunday. West Indies play in Guyana. Obviously, the first match is the day before, the 1st of June in the US. But from I will start on the on field component with the West Indies team, because as much as we are looking forward to hosting the World Cup, we're also looking forward for our team to do very well. And it was quite fitting on the way that we played that recent series at Sabina Park, Jamaica, against South Africa. I'm sure that a lot of the players and fans would have taken a lot of confidence from that, and it's certainly a good momentum going into the World Cup. So that was really a fitting note to end our real preparation on.
Certainly,
I,
get a little
I'm sure
confidence
Darren,
booster.
yeah, well, I'm sure Darren, Sammy, and his team will now feel that pressure, because the expectation is quite high right now.
Okay, all right. We raise the bar a little bit.
Yes,
All
indeed.
right, certainly. And they say one man's meat is another man's poison. And because of an injury, we see McCoy, who many of us were clamoring for because he's a left-hand bowler, and that he can bring a variety to the bowling instead of all right-hand fast bowlers. And I don't want you to get into trouble with anybody in your committees, but how do you feel about that?
Well, Obed has been playing really good for the last. He really dipped in form as a result of injury some time ago. But it was really heartening to see him back at full fitness and bowling really well over the last 6 months. I would say six to 12 months really. And so it was a bit disappointing for him not being in the original squad. But it is a strong West Indies team, and one of the great things. In fact, when you look back to 2012 and 2016 when we won the World Cup, there were quite a few changes made, at least 3 changes made to the original team because of injuries. And in these tournaments, Dougie, you need bench strength. You need a reserve to be strong and ready. And when you have persons like Obed who missed out, and you have Kyle Mills who you saw played some magnificent innings over the last few days in Jamaica, and there are a couple others who are there who, if the situation arises for them to get in the team because of unforeseen events like injuries, then they'll be more than ready to grab the opportunity. Andrew Fletcher as well, who is probably in the form of his life, is also in the reserve. So, I'm quite happy for players when they do get the opportunity. No exception to Obed. Unfortunate for Jason Holder for missing out. He's a champion player as well, but it is sports, and we know these things happen. But I'm saying overall, I'm quite comfortable with this squad, and I'm sure Obed is looking forward to capitalizing on the opportunity.
Well, on sports highlights here on Nice Radio, where we have Basil Butcher Jr. sometime come in and be part of our discussion. He was speaking about the very issue. He said he had noticed where he got noticed him playing with his shoulder coming off of the games in England before he was declared injured and Obed took his place. He said that he had noticed that and he didn't know why the discussion didn't go straight to that injury issue, but it was showing up after he played the matches in England.
Basil probably did an eye test, but in the professional sport, you have to ensure that you go through the detailed tests and so on, and that our medical team, including Dr. Dennis Byam, they had to ensure they went through the correct procedures before they rule him out totally, because this obviously has implications at ICC level as well. If you start him or you don't rule him out properly with the correct process, then you may not be able to bring in someone else in the squad or something like that, right? So the medical experts, they did what they had to do, and I think right now Jason started his rehabilitation, and hopefully it's a swift recovery for him.
I certainly hope so, because you don't want our players, cadre of players, being injured, and because everybody would like to play, and they have other cricket that they can play also. So you want them to be able to take advantage of all of that is available right now in the cricketing world, because certainly the landscape has changed tremendously.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. The cricket landscape is quite commercial now. The guys are playing more cricket now than ever before. They're hopping from tournament to leagues and so on. So the workload is quite intense. And of course, we have as the professional, the medical experts, the fitness experts, they have to continue to manage the workload of players so that we could get the best out of them. I think one of the great things with our preparations, as you would have seen over the last few days in Jamaica, I think that our players have been managed well in terms of their workload and peaking at the right time. And we all, certainly from the West Indies, hope that what we have seen there in Jamaica is the beginning of a team that is peaking at certainly the right time going into the World Cup stage.
Well, what is very pleasing, though, for most of us is that because we have so many players playing in the IPL who are in the squad and couldn't be home, but you had your other players were able to have done what they did in winning the 3 games in Sabina. All goes well to the talent that is available to the West Indies board.
Of course, and that is certainly a great indication of the future, certainly for the T20 format. Those guys as well who at the IPL, most of them got great opportunities to be out there playing with some of the best cricketers in the world. Would have spent time with different coaches and in the nets, and we have been in constant communication with them to ensure that they're doing the right things as part of their preparation for this World Cup as well. Some going to have to make slight adjustments to their game and the role that they played with those franchise team and what they're expected to play with us. But by and large, they're all upbeat. A couple of them got some good rest. Puran, Shai Hope, Captain Robman Paul and Hetmeyer, they got some rest. You've seen Rutherford, who hasn't played much in India, but he is in high spirits as well, I'm sure, coming off of that successful tournament, because they obviously went on to win, because Rutherford was with KKR, for those who don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he featured, certainly not more than one game. He would have been feeling and so on, but he didn't play a lot. But he is in good spirit. Andrew Russell, who really bowled well in the final as well, he's coming back with, I'm sure, utmost confidence. And yeah, I think the guys are all ready to go. They have a warm-up game against Australia later this week, and they'll all be looking forward to just fine-tuning a few things and just get acclimatized to the Trinidad condition as well.
So the guys who came out of the IPL will be playing in Trinidad?
Well, certainly I would expect that Puran and Shai Hope, who didn't participate in the series in Jamaica, to play. Rafi, the captain, and Hetmeyer more than likely would get a run as well. Sammy may make a decision to rest Russell, since he had just played the final, and so I'm not sure, but that's a decision for the management of the team to make in Trinidad over the next couple of days. But I would expect Darren Sammy to give everyone a run to just to shake off, and as I said, just to get in the groove of playing in this World Cup and getting in the right slots and so on with regards to their roles in this team.
Tell me something. We speak about Sammy. You know, when I first said this years ago, I got kind of bad mouthed, and I told him Sammy is a Vinci, you know.
I don't know about
You don't know that?
about the Vinci for sure, but I know he's a Caribbean man.
Well, I tell you something. He is a Vinci.
Yeah, he
By
has roots
virtue
in
of
St. Vincent.
by,
He has
by,
roots
by,
in
by virtue of the law, he is a Vincentian.
yeah.
His
Okay.
first cousin of Patel Matthews, Patel auntie,
Yeah.
went to St. Lucia and stayed, and Sammy's mother is a Vincentian. So by law, he's a
Okay.
Vinci.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Clara, that's his mother's name.
Yes,
I'll have to ask her when I see her next month. And
exactly,
and
exactly.
I didn't get that story from Patel either, so I have to get it from him
He
also.
never spoke about it. One day he was on a program and we were speaking cricket, and something happened, and that time Sammy was coming to St. Vincent to play. So I said, Patel, why don't you tell the people that's your first cousin, that he is? I was just trying to pull ranks, you know.
Yeah. Patel might say he got his cricket pedigree from his family. You know.
Yes. So, but it's true. A lot of Vincentians don't realize that Sammy himself is, because of his mother, is by virtue of the law, is a Vincentian. Whether he claims it or takes it up, that's a different story. But is so.
I will certainly run it by him when I see him next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he's extremely close with his mom.
Yes.
They have a fantastic relationship. Clara is a lovely lady.
Wonderful. But that's Caribbean integration.
Of course.
Tell me something. What is the relation? Give me the construct of the ICC with respect to Cricket West Indies.
Well, ICC is the governing body of cricket, and they're responsible for cricket across the globe. We have something like, and I say we because I'm a director of ICC by virtue of being the president of Cricket West Indies. We have like about 108 members. They're about 108 to 110 members, but only 12 of those are full members, West Indies being one of them, and all the other top countries you would imagine, including the last two to be added to the full member category, Ireland and Afghanistan. So all of the others outside of those are associate members. So you have like if you just want to call, like say the USA, the Canada, Netherlands, and these teams, these are all associate members. Now, ICC is responsible for development of cricket and the broad scheme of things. There are subvention given from ICC to all the members, both the full members and the associate members. And of course, ICC is responsible as well for all the world events, so the World Cups, regardless of the formats, and then the World Test Championship, they are fully responsible. Cricket West Indies, just responsible for the cricket in this particular region, the Caribbean. And we co-host or we execute on behalf of ICC. So take this World Cup, for example, along with the USA, we are responsible for executing this World Cup on their behalf. It is a collaboration, though. It's just not to say Cricket West Indies is managing everything as its own. It's really a collaboration because this World Cup, as you know, just like all other World Cups, they're significant events. And so, to execute them, we require resources across the globe, really. Whether it is ICC, whether it is Cricket West Indies, whether it is our partners in India and across the global market, and of course the governments that are involved with hosting the tournament. So in the Caribbean, the 6 countries, including St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and USA, mainly dealing with the states that we are hosting the matches there, which Dallas, Florida, and New York. Those are where the matches are being hosted in the USA. So that is our relationship with ICC. Again, we sit on the ICC board, so we are involved. I am, as the director, involved with decision making on the global landscape of cricket, and the the rest of the members, both full members and associate members, take guidance from ICC.
But how large is the executive member in this construct?
For ICC, we have 12 members, which are the full members. We have those. So you have, I mean, I won't bother listing them, but you can imagine who they are, the key players, West Indies, Australia, England, and so on. So you have 12 of us, one representative each. Then we have a president. We have also 2 associate representatives. So think overall construct of about an independent director, so about 15, 16 of us make up the board. And of course, we have senior management from ICC, which will include the CEO. The CFO will be present at times, and the chief of marketing as well would attend meetings from time to time, along with other legal advisors and so on. So we meet quarterly. ICC board meet quarterly. The last meeting we had was in Dubai. I think in March. Prior to that, we had a meeting in South Africa. Our next meeting is in July in Sri Lanka. And quarterly, in between of those quarterly meetings, we'll obviously have virtual meetings when necessary. And we also have breakout groups, committees, and so on, subcommittees of ICC that would also meet frequently, which the directors are a part of.
Wonderful. I see. I had to ask you these because most people arguing about things that they don't know the construct, they don't understand how it functions. And it is important that the listening public understand the functionalities and the construct of this organization. How does a country, St. Vincent now doing a lot of upgrades, spending a lot of money relative to our economic structure, how does a country get international games? Is it a decision of ICC, or is it individual countries who make the overture for international games to come to a country outside of, say, this World Cup?
Well, they're bilateral series. Most of the cricket are bilateral series, which are arrangements made between member boards. So, for example, Australia versus West Indies, that will be a bilateral series. South Africa versus West Indies, a bilateral series. So, outside of the main events, that like these World Cups and so on, and the Test Championship, then all other cricket, international cricket, you see are bilateral cricket. But regardless of whether bilateral or the international series, any cricket played in the Caribbean, in the West Indies, it would be the responsibility of Cricket West Indies to appoint these matches, right? So the host countries are determined by Cricket West Indies. In the case of World Cup, then Cricket West Indies will identify and agree to the host countries, but they will need ratification from ICC. But the recommendations must come from Cricket West Indies. For other international cricket, it is solely up to Cricket West Indies to determine the matches. What we have, though, we have 2 categories. We have those matches that are very lucrative for West Indies, in that when we execute these tours, we make millions of dollars. England, India, Australia, and so on. We because of the broadcast rights and so on, we make tremendous money, millions of dollars, sometimes, in excess of $20 million for a series. For some other series, you tend to barely break even or even operate in the red, meaning losing. So, for example, you have like a series maybe against Sri Lanka, which you won't have a lot of following, and because of the dynamics around the geographic location and so on of the country, the time we're going to be playing the games and so on, it may not be as attractive as an India series or Australian series and so on. So for those A category games that we make tremendous money, and where we have a lot of following to the Caribbean in terms of tourists as well, there's a bid fee that the governments would make. For the World Cup events, there's a bid fee as well that is applicable. for all those other games, you don't attract any bid fee. So Cricket West Indies solely appoint those based on discretion, trying to share across matches around the world. So if I give an example of the Bangladesh series later this year, right, that would have been solely at the discretion of Cricket West Indies to say, let us put these matches in a certain place across the region. St. Vincent is hosting 3 to 20 games in December. So those didn't attract any bid fees. We have England later this year, which attracted bid fees because when England, travel to the Caribbean, whenever they come to the Caribbean, they bring probably 5,000 tourists. And so we realized the economic impact and the countries, and so that series they would normally attract a bid fee, which is very reasonable, and the governments, because they see the obvious returns on their investments over the years, then they are quite willing to invest. And in cases where we have multiple bids, so let's say we have 5 matches and we had 6 countries bidding, then we'll obviously have to make a decision to say who missed out and so on. It is not a very straightforward exercise, Dougie, but what we do is try to ensure that we share cricket across the region so that everyone gets something. And what we have done is develop a 4-year cycle of cricket from this year to 2028 thereabout. So we already have the pictures. So I could tell you now off bat how many matches St. Vincent is going to host over that 4-year cycle. I won't tell you now, but
yeah,
we
I
already have
understand.
that
Yeah,
information
that's
at Cricket West Indies.
so Cricket West Indies has to navigate and manipulate these movements within these multi-island states in order to maximize the balance between the non-profitable games as against the games that earn monies. That's what he's saying.
Precisely. While also looking at the benefits, the social and economic impact for the countries as well. So we have to, strike a balance, look at, a metrics of different things and go about allocating. And that is a Cricket West Indies board decision.
Because it has to be in concert with the fact that governments are asked to invest monies that don't have direct returns on that investment.
That is a part of the consideration also.
Okay, fine. Tell me the VPL, the VPL that is played in St. Vincent, that is a private organized thing, but it has to be sanctioned by Cricket West Indies too, right?
Yeah, all commercial tournaments have, in fact, even development tournaments have to be at a certain standard, all have to be approved by a sanction by Cricket West Indies. So that the VPL certainly falls under that, especially because of the movement of players from across the region and so on. But that's a sanctioned tournament. One of the main factors with Cricket West Indies requiring to sanction these tournaments is because of our contractual agreement with CPL, the Caribbean Premier League, which actually has a block from 10 to 30 overs. So anything that falls in that era, in that category of cricket, has to be approved by the CPL and CWI.
Okay, all right. So we got a drift of what's happening. No, St. Vincent, we on the home stretch now. As I promised, it wouldn't be very long today. The upgrade at Annesvale. What is Cricket West Indies' involvement in terms of how the upgrade takes place?
Well, the investments are purely the responsibility of the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. For each country that is similar, they're responsible for the upgrade. What we do is provide the parameters for the upgrades. So we have had several discussions, and these discussions started from last year. In fact, Miles Bascom, who is now the director of cricket for Cricket West Indies, he was integral in the development of the bid document to CWI and ICC for the World Cup to come to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So they would have had all these requirements and obligations from the government then, which the government of St. Vincent and Grenadines has met, to date. And I think they are well on course to handing over the facility. I was at the facility yesterday, the Annisville playing field, and the transformation there is tremendous. All involved, the government of St. Vincent and Grenadines, the contractors, the laborers, everyone who have played a part in what we currently see. And I'm sure, over the next coming days, it will be finalized, it will be finished. I mean, it's really exceptional. And as a Vincentian, I'm elated and proud of the transformation we have seen there. And I think most Vincentians, if not yet, certainly by the time the World Cup starts, the first match starts here on June 13th, I'm sure they will be able to relate to that level of excitement that I do have now. The branding is already, it's probably about 70% now complete. And it is already, it's the best ever we have seen the outfield, meaning the grass and so on at Annisville, both inside and outside, because outside is a training facility. So it's really wonderful to see the development there. And right across the 6 countries in the Caribbean, they have done some fantastic work, right? That, in the past, we have had players, even the last series when India was here, they complain about the facilities in the Caribbean. I'm sure when they return now, they'll be, pleasantly pleased with the improvement that they have seen. Because right now, I think we are quite, we could compare with almost any of the facilities, not in terms of, size and some of the latest
quality,
technologies,
the quality,
but certainly the quality and the standard that we have, is right, very, very much comparable. So, commendations to all involved. I think this is something that Vincentians shortly needs to get behind. Need to come out and support the cricket. So far, the uptakes of tickets and sales and interest otherwise have been really encouraging. Just in terms of actual numbers, tickets so far in the Caribbean has been around 106,000, right? Have been sold already, and this is excluding all the other complimentary tickets and school children tickets and so on. So we expect in most cases to have a full house for the matches. Certainly all the West Indies games are sold out. Even in the Super 8, which we are anticipating them to qualify, those games are going to be sold out. And people are going to be waiting until maybe the semi-final and so on to purchase some tickets, or even the Super 8 to purchase it. But in terms of the preliminary matches, we have already sold over 106,000 tickets. In St. Vincent, we have sold something like over 5,000 tickets for the matches. So we still have a way to go with selling now. But as you would appreciate, for like because we are hosting here in St. Vincent from the 13th of June, I expect a slight delay. So by the time we can come on the actual World Cup start, I imagine that those ticket sales in St. Vincent are going to be double and even triple. But I expect a really, really excellent turnout at all the matches in St. Vincent and Grenadines, similar to the other countries in the Caribbean.
Well, we certainly hope so. We want it to be a success because our taxpayers' investment worth a lot, so we need to have to maximize it. Now that the Annisville 2 is now an upgraded ground, and that will be well upgraded. We won't allow people to park on that field anymore, right?
Well, I would hope not. I think, especially with the tarmac available, I suspect that there's no reason for parking to be outside on that grass. Certainly won't happen during this World Cup. I'm talking about the future. It is a training facility similar to Sion Hill, for this World Cup event. So there's absolutely no parking allowed on the grass outside. And I think arrangement is currently being finalized. It probably has been finalized already for parking to be on the tarmac.
So
So that should afford some smooth transition where people could just park and walk across.
so you'll have two access then. You'll have the main gate, and then below the schools they're making a gateway into the complex there, no?
That is my understanding. I'm not too sure yet how, especially on the floor. I could see it being accessible for the night matches, but I know the first game is at 10:30 a.m. So I'm not yet 100% sure. Maybe the LOC, the local organizing committee, has made a decision already, but I'm just not. I just don't have the knowledge, the update yet in terms of if that bottom gate is going to be accessible on the first day when like the schools there may be an exam. But we'll see how it goes. But certainly parking will be done on the tarmac. And I'm sure that the LLC, has it well covered in terms of putting those logistics in place. They have been meeting regularly. I think that they too need some deserve some commendations because they have been working really hard for the last few months. But all things seem to be shaping up well, Dougie.
Lighting, some people are, you're listening around and you hear people make comments. As far as my understanding as a technical person, lighting is a fairly standard format. We know that lighting has improved tremendously over the years, and so a lot of facilities have been changing out their lighting with the new lighting system. Being that St. Vincent is new with respect to lighting, obviously the lighting systems is a new format of lighting. How is that in your knowledge with respect in the comparison to all the others?
Well, we certainly have the top quality lighting that we have just procured here for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Some of the other countries had to actually change out what they had previously. I know Barbados just changed out and they had good international quality lighting, but these things evolve, technology improving by the day. And so it would make obvious sense to procure what is best, what is most modern on the market when you're purchasing and to mention quite rightly so, purchase the best quality lights for international standard. And it looks really good even from the what we have seen so far. I suspect that throughout this week the guys are working hard to complete it, and pretty soon I'm sure one of these nights we might just pass by and see the testing going on or the bright lights at on its real playing field. It brings tremendous opportunity in terms of this is the norm. This is the norm at international facilities throughout the world now. Even some clubs, when you go to Australia and India and England and so on, have proper lighting. So for international facility, like honest way of playing field, it's really a case of when. And I'm quite happy that we're able to get them in time for this World Cup. It is a worthwhile investment, I believe. And certainly we're going to see the benefits of that. I mean, not only for this World Cup, but you have cricket later in this year against Bangladesh. The lights were one of the factors. You also have, because we're surely going to try and have at least a couple of those matches played in the night. Against even the VPL, has the opportunity to now stage cricket in the night. If they're international football, they also, I'm sure they would consider playing games under the light. It's just a different atmosphere when you play sports at night, and because people are walking in the day and so on, then you expect bigger turnouts and so on and participation in the night. So I would say definitely a great investment, and hopefully we receive. I have no doubt actually that we are going to see the return from that investment sooner than later.
I just hope that we will maintain them because we have a track record of lack of maintenance, and we would like to see those things are affected. The grounds in the whole facility, as a matter of fact, affected as it had been before. I know
that's a great point, Dougie. I mean, I think certainly that is one of the things that I'm hoping that the LOC would have made some recommendations in terms of upkeep subsequent to the World Cup. And what we don't want is every tournament that we host going forward that we have to be spending this tremendous sort of money, significant sums to continue upgrading. But I would say that from what we have here now certainly meets and exceed the standard required from ICC, and I imagine that it's just a matter of basic upkeeps. Even something that we have slighted, the investment of equipment. If you go down to Annesville, you'll see quite a few different equipment, and they are costly. So all these things that have been purchased or procured recently would certainly help in the next couple of years or so to continue to maintain the facility. So some of the investment we are not necessarily seeing just yet, but I'm sure it will help us over the next couple of years. So again, it's we're well on path to really becoming, I think, with this momentum of this World Cup, hopefully other sports that currently feel left out, hopefully they could get some momentum as well. Football with a new dispensation, and the others could follow suit and really piggyback off of this world event to get them involved. So, I just had to plug that because I'm a big supporter and advocate for sports in the country, and I would just hope that this really, gives us the kind of momentum that we need for sports to really rise in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Well, I'm happy that you can use your influence to speak to that issue, because sports tourism, we have to be diverse because we're small, and we need to maximize in every shade capacity that is available to us. Well, I'm going to just be a little presumptuous. Nice radio. I got to speak on behalf of us. We respect sports and so forth, but with respect to ticket, I'm going to ask your permission so I can tell the persons that we're going to have a few giveaways coming up in the week coming.
Well, I mean, I know as a station that carries sports probably more than any other, probably saving except one. This is national radio I'm talking about, national radio station. But it would be quite fitting that your sports enthusiast, certainly your cricket enthusiast, get an opportunity to come to the game, and any way I could assist in that, then I'll be most happy to. So some of your listeners might get lucky, Doggy.
Okay. Well, they certainly would. They'd enjoy that. I want to thank you for coming on. I know I wanted to catch you before you got extra. I know you've been always busy, but extra super busy when the World Cup starts. Everybody's going to come because heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Yeah. It has been a major responsibility, really, but one that I've thoroughly enjoyed up to this point, and I'm quite confident that where we sit now, that the tournament is going to be successful, certainly in terms of execution of the World Cup. Again, if you just come down to Annesville, just use Annesville in just one really example, because we are here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But I mean, just the experience day, even before a ball is bowled, it's going to be a fantastic event day. You have commentators, some of the best commentators in the world going to be in St. Vincent, best TV crew and everything. And it's going to be a very busy couple weeks in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I'm sure that those guests who come in, the hundreds of persons visiting St. Vincent, are going to have a fantastic experience. And as a Vincentian public, I want us to play our part and certainly enjoy the experience of having this World Cup here. So again, I'm urging everyone to get involved in some way. Again, people online looking for even accommodation. I have been encouraging persons that if you have, an extra room or so at your house, go on Airbnb, put it online, because people are looking for accommodation to come into the country. That is quite common now for people to go online and go on Airbnb to get, so rent out your rooms or your house for a couple of weeks and make some money, benefit from the World Cup. It offers tremendous opportunities for us all in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the other 5 countries that are hosting the World Cup. So really a fantastic opportunity for all of us.
Are we having Carnival?
Right around the corner.
So
I expect that what I've heard, Dougie, is that a lot of Vincentians are actually using this event to come home and spend an extra couple of weeks to stay on for Carnival one time. And that is, the timing is perfect. You're flying, enjoy some cricket a great carnival atmosphere, and then you go into the actual carnival, Vinci Mass. So
Amen.
sounds perfect.
Yeah, well, we pray for that everything goes well. I wish you success, and I know this experience for you as head of Cricket West Indies and having to deal with the hosting of I think is an experience, a university by itself for you.
Certainly, and I'm soaking up all the learnings and the experience and so on, and it's been great working with a team of experts across the globe to execute such a major event.
All right, so well, I'm gonna relieve you, and I thank you very much. We'll be in touch otherwise, and I thank you for being with me here on the station. I've been speaking to Dr. Kishore Shallow, President of Cricket West Indies. Thank you very much again, sir.
Do you have a passion for sport? Then Sports Highlights is a place to be. Share the passion every Sunday and Wednesday, 7 to 9 p.m. Sports from the heart, only on Sports Highlights.
This moment is all that I've been dreaming of.
Well, focus. Join the vibes for the ICC Men's T20 World Cup in the Party Stand. Enjoy live performances by top artists, the hottest DJs, and so much more. Get your tickets today from Korea City Store, Kingstown. ICC Men's T20 World Cup, the vibes in the Party Stand. It's going to be out of this world. Get your tickets now.
CK Grace and Company is the number one supermarket. 100% intention. The Intention Supermarket. We've got more of what you're looking for in multiple locations to serve you more and more. In business now for over 50 years, and you will always say by shopping right here. Oh yes, we're number one. CK Grace and Company, and we are Vincent John's, a supermarket for you and me.
Looking for sporting gear for all sports? Well, there's only one place to shop. ComSport. ComSport supplies gear for cricket, soccer, netball, table and lawn tennis, track and field, and more. ComSport provides brand name soccer shoes, socks, shin guards, balls, slippers, goalkeeper gloves, and many more accessories. Plus uniforms, complete with tops, shorts, socks, and numbers. Also in stock, cricket gear, balls, pads, shoes with spikes, batting gloves, netball shoes, balls, and bibs. And to top it off, ComSport has introduced a new line of trophies for all events. It's located in the Computech building on the second floor, opposite the financial complex on Bay Street, Kingstown. For more information, call 456-2691. That's 456-2691. ComSport.
St. Vincent Containers proudly introduces its high-quality bathroom tissue. Furtis, Lilies, Midushi. Manufactured to conform to local, CARICOM, and international standards. Tested and certified by the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Bureau of Standards. No roll less than 300 sheets. Legitimate sheet and core sizes. Virgin pulp, no recycled. Soft but not lighted. Professionally produced and packaged. Now available throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Furtis, Lilies, Midushi. Excellent Vincentian products.
Instacash, giving you the chance to win more money from the National Lotteries Authority. Get our new $2 game, Money Tree. Match at least 4 symbols and win cash up to $3,000. There's also 5 times the cash for $2, 10 times the cash for $3, and 20 times the cash for only $5, offering you up to $10,000. Win instantly with Instacash, where there's no waiting for a draw. Instacash, fast, so easy to play.
The public is asked to note that chiropractor Dr. Edmund Seeley is now conducting clinic and will see patients by appointments only. To make an appointment, call 456-9318 or 531-5318.
Good evening. 7:20 is the time. Listen to sports highlights. You heard the interview with Dr. Kishore Shallow, president of Cricket West Indies, and I trust that the information exposed would have educated you a bit more what is happening. And we welcome you to Sports Highlights. You know, we started 6:30. Wanted to do that because there's Calypso 10 tonight, the Upstage 10 tonight, and as soon as that starts, we will be switching over. They are scheduled to start, I think, is at 8:30. So we would see. Sometimes, most of the time, the 10 starts at 9 instead of 8 and 8:30. So we would play it by ear. I expected Wazim to give us a call about his softball cricket competition, the F15. He did message me and said he wanted to pop in, and certainly I'm saying to most people with sporting disciplines, this is a program that you are feel free, unless you're going to do a long interview where we give you extended time, where you would call me and tell me in advance. You don't have to worry. This is the Sporting World's program. Whether you're netball, football, cricket, hockey, swimming, whatever, cycling, feel free. Call us. The numbers are 456-5967, 718-734-5615 is there are the numbers. WhatsApp is 498-3802. 498-3802 is the WhatsApp number. And let's see what will happen there as we continue tonight. So let me see if with some information that I am going to deal with and give you some sporting information that we have readily available. In the Sharps Football League, the semi-finals continues today, and that's not today. That's Thursday. Tomorrow, there'll be the second semi-finals for the Sharps Football League, and Charles FC will come up against Big World 11. That's Charles FC versus Big World 11. In the top Billy football competition, we should have had Junior Bacchus to speak about some issues there today. But what has been happening there, Junior is integral in the Indian Heritage Foundation. And the Indian Heritage Foundation is planning their rally in Calder, which is Sunday, Indian Arrivals Day, and they normally do some reenactment. And so we had to relieve him of that commitment that he had with us here. And he will be on next Wednesday. Remember that we have a few giveaways in cricket, but we will tell you when that would happen. So you have to keep listening to Nice Radio. So we'd have a few giveaways that's promised to us by Cricket West Indies, that they're going to give us a few tickets to give away to different games. All right. So that's what let's see in the top Billy football. Glen United beat SVG General Services Garincha 2 by 4-2. That's Garincha 2 that's the name of the team, but it's sponsored by the SVG General Services. So it's Glen United Garincha 2. They beat SVG General Services by 4-2. Richard Mullins and Ronaldo Adams score one each, while 2 goals were scored by Obed Cupid. Then the scorers for SVG General Services were Ralik Hunt and Jermaina Spencer. If I got the names correct. Sometimes it's hard to see the names on the score sheets with them. And we have some other cricketing news outside of there were England women defeated Pakistan women by a massive 178 runs in the second ODI. The scores: England was 302 for 5 off 50 overs. Natalie Skiver Brunt 124 not out. Pakistan 124. Muniba 47 and Sophie S. Lexstone 3 for 15. And we got some Olympic news for you. A three-time Olympic gold medalist, Gabby Douglas, the gymnast, has withdrawn from the competition at the U.S. Gymnastics Championship this weekend in Fort Worth, Texas, citing an ankle injury she suffered during the training this week. The injury ends Douglas' improbable bid to make the 2024 Paris Olympic team after an 8-year hiatus. At 28, Douglas would have been the oldest American woman to compete in the gymnastics at the Olympics since 1952. Despite the injury, though, Douglas said she is proud of what she has accomplished over her 18-month comeback, because she was doing extremely well. And I saw some clips with her in her performances and doing extremely well. Well, I'm also in some basketball news there. A former Celtic point guard, Isaiah Thomas, and this is not the sport itself, this is his name called to death. Former Celtic point guard Isaiah Thomas says he was threatened at gunpoint while hanging out with a friend. In the now deleted post, Thomas revealed his shocking encounter, which ended when the perpetrator recognized Thomas as a former NBA All-Star. That's what saved his life. Really tripping as how these young kids move around, wrote Thomas in the post. He said, I really had a life-changing moment yesterday when a kid pulled a AK-47 on me and the homies, and if it wasn't for who I was and him recognizing me in my own city, he probably would have ended all of our lives. He said, be safe. So that is Isaiah Thomas. You all remember Isaiah? It was pretty fast. All right. Bayern Munich have Belgian Vincent Kompany as head coach on the 3-year deal. The 30-year-old succeeds Thomas Tuchel. He left relegated Burnley, who finished 19th in the English Premier League. The two clubs agreed for a compensation fee believed to be around £38 million to Burnley. Then we have other footballing news. Denmark and Serbia advanced to the UEFA 17 semi-finals following their quarter wins. On Wednesday, Serbia defeated Austria 3-2 and Denmark overcame Czechia 5-3 on penalties after the teams were deadlocked 1-1 at the end of regulation time. The other, let's see now, Denmark in women's football friendly, Chile defeated Guatemala 3-2. Chile defeated, this is in women's friendly football. Chile defeated Guatemala 3-2. In another women's football friendly, the Indonesian team defeated Singapore by 5-1. 5-1. Right. I think Wazim is he just arrived at home, so he'll be in with us just now. We have also other women's football friendly, Aruba versus Trinidad. Iran versus Belarus, and Morocco versus the Republic of Congo. Those will be played tomorrow. Those are some in football. Englishman and Real Madrid midfielder Jude Bellingham was voted La Liga Player of the Season in his first year in Spain. Bellingham scored 19 times to help Real Madrid win the La Liga title. He edged out Vinicius Griezmann, Dovbek, and Lewandowski for the title. So the competition's face. 7:30 is the time you're listening to Sports Highlights. The numbers are 4565967, 718-734-5615. WhatsApp is 498-3802. And we expect Wazim Dunbar to come chat about his softball cricket competition. And you know, they have, on Sunday, they have their finals. They have a barbecue and things like that. But he will tell us a little bit more about that when he come up on the live. Some results in the French Open tennis now. Okay, let's take Dunbar. Dunbar is with us, so I'm going to take Dunbar. There. Good evening, was it? I ain't hearing you. What happened to you? I'm not hearing you at all. Hold on. Hello? You want to try that again? I don't know what's happening. I'm not hearing you. That's the first time you ever came on and I don't hear you. I haven't seen no audio coming from you. You had to log out. I think you didn't, on your login, you did not turn on your microphone. Log out and log back in. You need to log out and log back in and then come back. When I see you, I'll turn you on. Okay? Because I'm not hearing you. Okay. All right. So this sometimes happens when you log into the live. You have to tell the live that you are going to allow it to give you for the camera and the microphone. When that happens, then you will be able to get the audio coming up on the stream. That's how it is. It is now 7:32, and I want to remind you that tonight we have the Upstage Calypso tent, and tomorrow we'd have the On Tour Calypso tent. 3 tents operating in St. Vincent, 1 in New York, the Dynamite in New York, and 3 tents in St. Vincent. Let me welcome our friend Scorcher, the Party Fever man, and Phantom DJ. tonight, whatever. I spoke to him today. He's in the land. He's my good friend. Good friend. We've been good friends for years, donkey years now. Can't check the years. And Scotchy is in town. The man from Sion Hill. The man who ridicule people like of Dorset the Hill in a song and about sexuality. Oh, we'll kill him for that. Let me see if I could hear you now, was it? What's happening? I'm not getting no audio from you. That's the first time I never had any audio from you. This is not good. It's not good. I don't know what's happening. I am not getting you at all. I don't know what is happening. Something is happening with your audio. Go in your settings. Just go into your settings. Your thing would have a settings. Just go to settings and see. Okay, I think I'm hearing you now. What happened?
Are you hearing me now?
No, we're hearing you. What have you been doing with your microphone? You're playing with something, man.
Yeah, you know these phones. Technology.
Yeah. We're gonna have to charge you a fee for that, you have a sanction fees. You know, when if one of your teams misbehave, y'all will have ethics that you will sanction them. So we have to sanction, is it?
Yeah, well, whatever it is.
All right. So I got Mr. Wazing Dunbar. He's the president of the F15 softball cricket competition 2.0. All right, and the you want to bring us up to date to what's happening with your competition. Go ahead. You could tell us. Bring us up to date.
Competition is nearing its end. On this Saturday, we will have a semi-final match. And on the Sunday, we'll have our finals and our third place match that begins from 10 a.m. in the morning. And that Faban United has already progressed for the finals. So now, based on the match on Saturday, will determine who will be winning the finals
Who's
on
in
the
the,
Sunday.
who's playing Saturday in the semifinals?
It will be Combat Warriors or East Kingston or Talawas, because East Kingston and Talawas have to play a match first. So based on who win, they will play against Combat Warriors in the semifinals, and who win there will go on to the finals on the Sunday. So we have two matches on Saturday from 12:30 and 3 o'clock. The semifinals will be 3 o'clock. And the two matches on Sunday, the third place match 10 a.m. in the morning, and the finals will be at 1 o'clock. Or also in between, we'll be having a Balarama where, the teams will be paying each other for prize as well. Also, we might as well have a President 11 where we have the committee and the executive playing against some of the team.
Like you need me to come and help you, man.
Yeah, well, of course, you're welcome.
I mean, I might top score, or I might be no score.
Well, we just never know. Cricket is uncertain on the day.
Yes. Yeah. How the tournament is going so far? Are you pleased with what happened this year with the tournament? This is second year having the tournament.
Yes, I'm very well pleased, especially with the sponsors coming on board. We have more sponsors coming on board with us, and without the sponsors, we will not be able to be able to have the tournament, because we need finances and so to be able to put things in place for the tournament. So this year has been better. It is good sign whenever you're doing something, you're looking that you want to build. So far, we give God thanks that we were able to, have a better tournament this year, and more teams as well.
How many teams had in the tournament this year?
10 teams.
And before that, last year?
Before that was 9. Last year we had 9. This year 10.
I had 1, and now we get 1
Yes.
more. So
we could have got more.
Okay.
But we would have cut off the time because of the time frame in which we get to utilize the playing field. So we had to restrict it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, these things do happen. Let's hope next year, when if you got the numbers up in the teams, that also you would have notify the administrators of the field early enough to have your tournament inclusive of more teams, make it a little more excited.
Yes, definitely. And we're looking forward to have that bigger and better every year, God's will.
Because the more teams you have, you automatically have more spectators.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And
So when
we are really encouraging.
When they do a barbecue, you sell more barbecue.
Yeah. Yes, and as you mentioned that, I must tell persons of our barbecue that we are having fundraising barbecue on the day of the finals, the 2nd, Sunday. It will begin from 12 p.m. Anybody, you can come out, bring out your children. We're having bouncing castle as well. It's free admission. You come with your family, you enjoy cricket finals, and just have a good time.
Wonderful, wonderful. There's any new innovations you see that you want to put next year?
Yes, definitely. With those innovations, of course, there is a cost with because one of the things that we have looked at is having a matting.
Oh,
So
okay, all right, yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
I don't want to let too
They
much of
still,
the
they
cat
still,
out the bag, but
they still have the old mat in the pavilion there.
no, no, no.
Okay,
The pitch was prepared by Sports Council, the groundsman there. They have
yeah.
done a good job this year in terms of the preparation of the grounds. But
Mhm.
we are looking at ways to be more innovative and be different as well. And we see how, if you look at India and those places, they really take softball cricket highly as well. And the way that they do it real professionally. So we want to take some page out of those things that we see and also add innovations for ourselves to make it exciting for the players and also to encourage people to come out and enjoy softball cricket as much as they would enjoy hardball.
So would you say there's a possibility that coming out of your competition that you may be able to put an excellent team together that may be able to compete regionally?
Yes, that is definitely one of our long-term goal. It is really to bring exposure to our talent in players in the softball cricket, and we're hoping to, as we progress, that we can get those ties together, so that we can get a regional softball team, going and maybe international as well as we go along. As we're looking at, it
Is
is.
there a regional softball organization?
Well, not as I know at this moment. I'm not familiar with it, but definitely we will be looking into it because it is something that we have in mind. I know there a person who played with us hardball years ago. I know he plays um softball cricket and hardball cricket overseas, and that's basically what he does for his job. So I'll definitely be in contact with him and see, ways in which these tournaments are run and if they will facilitate, the regional cricket and so.
But what I'm trying to extract out of you is that whether or not you are in contact with any persons within the region who have teams, who have competitions running, do you know anyone? Have you researched that? And
If I know anyone,
yeah,
no,
in
not at the moment.
Trinidad,
So
Barbados, whatever. Yeah.
no. Well, I hope even with this radio broadcasting that maybe somebody out there might know and maybe they might be able to get in contact with us
Well,
that
you
can
have to
become
give your number.
possible.
You have to give your number just in case anybody knows. Give your number.
Yes, sure. Well, can reach us by 497 5667.
Repeat that.
497 5667.
You know, I think Daphne used to have a softball competition, and if I'm not mistaken, Junior Backus and Ashford Wood and all those guys
Yeah,
up in Daphne, they used
yeah,
to have a
in Bele.
competition. Yeah, in Bel Air.
Yeah, yeah, they still do have it. They still do have it. I played in that tournament couple of times. Yes, they do. They do.
But they might know Junior is a very resourceful person, and he might know persons. As I said, he was supposed to be on tonight speaking about the football competition up in Top Belay football competition, but he is um, involved in the Indian Heritage Foundation, and Indian Heritage Day is Sunday, and they are preparing to have a rally. So he will be on next week Wednesday, and maybe if you're on next week Wednesday for a little bit, just to bring us up to date on the finality of your competition and game on Sunday, you could spend a little 5 minutes with us. But I think it may serves you well if you get in touch with Junior Backus or Ashford Wood. They may know persons in the region who have teams, because I think it's a good thing if you can get a good team out of St. Vincent and the Grenadines
Yeah.
to play against Trinidad, Barbados, St. Lucia, Grenada. I know even with the Windward Islands, so as to start raising the awareness of how the Eastern world take softball seriously, like you say in India and other places. and make a big thing out of it. You never could tell. You could be a pioneer in this area.
Yeah, definitely. And these as you mentioned that it is well embraced. I will definitely be in contact with Junior and or Ashford because they I don't know if they may remember me personally, but I'll be in contact with them.
Well, if you had hit one of them for six a few times, they would have remember you.
Well,
If you
they
blow
were
them,
the organizers at the time.
but if
So
you not on the stumps for zero and send them back up, they probably would remember you.
yeah, memorable. I know.
All right, Wazim, well, thank you for coming and joining us. Well, and let us bring us up to date. So you want to run back over what's happening before you leave? What's happening tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday?
Yes. So this Saturday, the F15 softball cricket tournament 2.0 will be having one quarterfinals match that is between East Kingston and Talawas, and followed we will have the semifinals match between Combat Warriors and the team that win in that quarterfinals match. The team from that semifinals game will play Faban United on Sunday in the finals at 1 o'clock p.m. Also, we'll have the third place match, which would be Dr. Thomas Injectors and the losing team in the semifinals would be playing them at 10 a.m. in the morning.
So
We also will be having our
Dr. Thomas had qualified for the semifinals.
yes,
Okay.
yes, and they lost against Faban United.
Okay.
Yes, so they now will be playing in the third place match.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Gray is in there with us. I don't know if Gray want to ask you any question. Gray is sitting in the background and spying you. Good night, Gray.
Hey, good night, doggy. And good night to the youngster.
Wazim
Good
is
night.
his
Good
name.
night.
Wazim Gunba.
Now I heard you mention about the possibility of using Martin, right? But have you really checked it out closely that if you're going to use the Martin, you don't think it? Well, I don't think, but it will slow up the whole pace of the softball. Because if the surface beneath the Martin is not solid right through, if there is a little hole once the ball hit it will surely stick up. Because I'm saying this from experience as an old groundsman in the Calico we're doing Martin. So I don't know if you look at it from that level.
Yeah, definitely. There has been when we mention it, persons. There was someone that mentioned it to us that we will definitely have to make sure that the ground is level. So yeah, I believe we have more than enough experienced persons who will be able to assist us in getting the ground prepared in the right way for that.
Okay, well, when I heard you say that, I say I got to ask you that and make sure that when they pull the Martin, they pull it extremely
tight
that take out all the slack out of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Well, it might be a good thing to try. So wish you all the best.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, then, Wazim. Well, God bless. Have a wonderful evening and best of luck on the weekend and success in the finality of your competition. Okay?
All right. Thank you very
God bless.
much for having me
Bless.
again. God
All
bless. Take care.
Brother Gray.
Hey, doggy. Good evening.
Tell me now what's going on.
Okay, it's two points I want to look at from the interview I had with Dr. Shallow.
Yeah.
I heard him mention a possibility that the VPL might have 1 or 2 games in the night.
Uh-huh.
But then, if my memory serves me well, when the VPL started, they told us that they had to play it in the morning because of the Indian audience. So I don't know if anything has changed.
Yeah. No, nothing really changed. I think what you say was, from my understanding and from the interview from before, it is that because of the upgrade in the facilities, they may shift like probably the finals. They may shift it to end up in the night, But that is something that they will have to arrange because, as you say, the time, because the people who are involved in the Dream 11, who are involved in this competition, have to maximize their audience in India
Well,
and the other places there.
yeah, because when it started, they mentioned that's why they had to start so many games 10 o'clock in the morning and so forth.
Yes, yeah.
You know. And
Yes.
and then another thing, I don't know if he heard the interview with the Prime Minister, but remember the Prime Minister in a football playing on his wheel.
Well, I smile. And that's what I told him. I said, well, it'd be nice that if he can use his influence based on his position to that. But I think the Prime Minister was only speaking from an emotional perspective where he came onto a lot of flack about the amount of monies that they have to spend to and some people are saying whether it was wise at this particular time to spend that kinds of money when we have an ailing economy, right? So I believe he was more just mouthing off and creating an impression that he himself wasn't sure whether or not. And if you listen to how he said it, because putting lights at the stadium will not be a cheap ordeal either, and it has to
Right,
be done properly.
right. And from all report that the playing area is not really in any condition now. And then also, even though they just put light in order to play international football, it had to be approved by FIFA.
Yep. Yeah.
You know,
Just like the grounds, they have to be approved by the ICC.
by the ICC, right? And I think what the man would have said after putting the light, man, we could invite a lot of football teams to come and play football because what I'm saying is that the facility is being paid by taxpayers, and then we can't just think about international cricket alone to play, and we have to talk about our local sportsmen. You know.
Of course, and that's why I'm saying, so I smile and I say, well, I didn't even take on the Prime Minister when he talked that, because that's easier said than done or executed or maintaining that status quo. Because when the bills and the loans must be paid back for the investment in the facility, you must be able to utilize the facility to at least have a maintenance regime.
Well, and then now we both saying we have this international hotel and the international when we have the grounds at the international standard. Our local footballers, I think, will draw a bigger crowd at Annisville any day than local cricket. And and so then I think you'd say, well, okay, with all his friendly countries that he developed for football in nation, it have been making brag that he making plans to have a few of them come here to play against Vinci Heat, some friendlies.
Yeah, because he's very friendly with Venezuela and Cuba, and he could use his CILAC connections,
right?
Not just to have political meetings, but to have sporting meetings.
So this is one of the thing when I heard him, I say, well, boy, if it's only for cricket, that will be a white elephant.
You know something. I was speaking today and another sports enthusiast, and we we're saying, if we really had serious planning and we had money, if we had serious planning and we had money, being now that you had the cranes here from Barbados, which are delayed here because the sixth light has not gone up yet.
Yeah, I saw something about it and I noticed that
it's not up yet. There's a delay, and that delay has to be of a nature because you don't hold up cranes here, which you have to pay a lot of money to keep these cranes here. Remember, these cranes are construction cranes that work in Barbados every day.
so
you're paying a hefty sum to keep these cranes here, a hefty sum. So the point I get in, if we really had money and we had friends, take for instance the Calico Victoria Park, that have some starlight down there that needs some new lights. We could have enhanced Victoria Park lighting. We had the cranes to go up there and do it properly one time. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, well, that should have been it.
Yeah, we could have maximized it, but I see in hindsight, we could see that in hindsight. But the emphasis was getting cricket ready, and at all costs, cricket has to be ready. So we didn't think about the other facilities that we could have utilized. That because we would have known that we didn't have cranes tall enough to do this work, mobile cranes, that is. Mobile cranes. Remember, we have cranes in St. Vincent, but large mobile cranes, tall enough to go to that height. You didn't have here. You have tall cranes down at the port, but I don't think they are mobile. Those are cranes that are constructed on the site. I mean, not constructed. That's the wrong word.
They have them fixed bolt down and so forth.
Right, yeah. They are put together. They are assembled. They would have come down on big ships, and they're assembled here at the site where they are working. But to have them mobile to go through the streets, like how these cranes could have leave the port and go down to Annisvale and still had the boom height to do these lights, then I think we missed out on an opportunity to reinstall lights at Calico and to also improve the lighting at Victoria Park as is.
Well, at Calico, I know they had a crane used to be used in here. I don't know if it's local and it's still in operation, because they had used one that went up and take down the lamps.
Yeah, well, you have some cranes here, you know, and they're probably tall enough for Calico.
Right, because they use them and do work on Calico already. But what I was looking at, I was saying, well, okay, after they finish, I said to myself, they have been bringing in the lamps for Calico, so after they finish at Annisvale, then they'll concentrate on replacing those in Calico. So I don't know if that is in the making.
Well, you never know, no, because you know these people have surprises for you sometimes, and you know it is the season, the silly season, up soon. You know.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't surprise us because they take them down a long time ago. So putting them up would not be a surprise. We expect them to.
But what about Victoria Park?
Well,
the towers are pretty high, you know. They're not as high as Annisvale, but they're pretty high.
They're higher than those in Calico?
Yeah, man. Much higher.
Well, okay. Well, as the crane here, yes, I agree with you. If we've been prepared for it, they could have done and do some work there.
Yeah, Victoria Park. You know Victoria Park. You remember them tall mountain cabbage trees?
Right.
That's the height of those, you know, so you know they're high.
Yeah, well, at least, to be honest, the last time I really visit Victoria Park in the night, seriously, it was what, 2 years ago when I did Panorama Tour. Before that, 2012. After I stopped involved in Panorama 2012, I've never gone back until I do commentary 2 years ago for Night Raid in Victoria Park.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. Okay, so, but so I hope that they get these lights sorted out soon, because you know weekend is the 1st of June, and that delay tells me without investigating. I haven't investigated. I hear a little rumors, but I don't take rumors. I haven't investigated why the actually is a delay in getting up the 6th light, you know. But apparently something has to be causing that delay, you know.
Right, because now actually the World Cup.
You know something.
World Cup starts Saturday.
Yeah, you know you could order something and something missing in the package.
Well, yes, that has happened. Yeah, because I remember one time I had a drum set out to Trinidad, and when it arrived here, the parts for this cymbal stand wasn't there to call. But the guy, when he checked, he said the guy forget it in the box. He said it for me the next week.
Yeah.
So these things happen.
The only difference is that getting lights from China is not going down to Trinidad.
Well, the wall boss man, he could get them to put them on a military flight and send them up. The wall boss.
Okay. Yeah, but
No.
something has to be wrong. I hope it's soon because we like to see the other thing. As
Well,
you noticed, I was speaking to Dr. Shallow about the issue of the practice ground because when these grounds are upgraded and they have done a lot of work on the outside field too and also on Sign Hill. Sign Hill looks good. Outside ground looks good. You don't want people coming driving and parking indiscriminately on those fields. Because
that is something got to give a serious consideration about because if you're gonna allow it to park, you're just gonna mash it up again.
yeah,
So
but we are whole tarmac.
No, the tarmac tell you well. Remember when the city built the wing, we got the tarmac again.
Well, until the city build, they have the tarmac.
Well, and actually they could leave some areas the grass area from the road going down where we normally go to Annisville. They could left some of that area aside for parking.
Of course, that could be done. Yeah, that could be done.
Leave some of that for parking, yeah.
You can have parking going down. You could actually create parking below the a little bit of parking even below the shooting range.
You already had the netball and the shooting range down in there,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, you could create some kind of parking down there.
Well, when in the development plan they could plan for parking area, because actually.
Well, you can't have a city without a parking lot. Eh?
Yeah, but then now Annisville have become our sporting main center because you have the hard courts there. Now we upgrade the Annisville one and upgrade Annisville too. So and you have the gun people them thing down there. So you need to put adequate parking.
The other thing is though, with the hard courts being compromised heavily because of construction at the Annisville one, because they had to use that aggregate and all kind of thing. Eh?
Right.
A lot of stuff dumped on there, a lot of stuff are dumped there.
Well, when they finish, they could actually put in a proper surface for the people, and put in a proper
need
surface.
a nice rubberized surface.
Yeah, because they have they have outdoor material to use on them.
Yeah,
So,
I've seen in the States where they have outdoor basketball courts. There is not mats that they don't. They lay down like asphalt. I saw only one place I ever saw it in Orlando. I went to a park, was walking curiously, and I saw the guys playing. So I had about 4 courts. And when I go and examine, they actually lay down this kind of when you walk in it, but it's very, very, very it's the adhesivity of it is really, really, really strong. I try to see if how flex because it's flexing as if it is, but I don't know if it could thing up and roll. If you could put a scraper under it, I don't know what it is, but it looks like it's laid the same way how you lay down Barber Green.
yeah, but Dougie, I remember some years ago at a particular venue they had put down a tennis court, and I had worked with some guys who came in, and we actually put on some stuff. You mix it, and then you roll it on, and then it become like a kind of a rubbish when it dry.
Mm.
And it was not as that hard under the foot, but still when you hit the ball was coming on.
Okay, right, okay.
So and that was really something that designed for the outdoors. But since that to now, I show the technology we had developed much more.
Totally, yeah.
There's plenty years I talking about when I was a young man.
Yeah, well, in high school they lay down the volleyball and netball rise court. I just responding to a message here. I apologize for that little break, but I must respond. Okay, I send a message there. It is important, but you know the as I said, the high school court has a rubberized yeah.
Yeah. We need to look seriously at how we can improve the protection of our athletes, especially the basketballers and the netballers and the surface,
Because you mash up your knees,
Yeah.
your knees and your back.
And then now when we look at the opportunities in sports, we need to do something to help the young people, because normally sports help to keep your nation strong and healthy.
But you know what I would love to see happen with the Annisville netball and basketball courts, the 4 courts. I would love to see them cover it, not necessarily to enclose it, but to just cover it. Because I've seen that. I've seen covered outdoor courts that are open, but when rain comes, you don't the water. It's cantilever a good distance outside the perimeter of the courts itself. You may get, if heavy winds blow, you might get water coming in. But what they do, they have this sheer black net,
Right. Yeah.
right? That is up on big rollers up in the roof, and they just let them down. So it stop the heavy rain. You get sprinkled, but they stop the heavy rain coming onto the court.
Yeah. We need to we need to look at things now for the improvement of our sporting facilities. And if we're talking about sport tourism, we need to do it because is that not all the sports that you have to put them at the main arena. You might find some, not the international clubs or teams might, like years gone by, Doug, you had groups used to come camp in different parts of St. Vincent. So, like, for instance, if persons come and camp in the Calico area, the Calico Heart could should be in such a way that, they can use that, to play game on a proper surface.
We got our friend Patrick. Patrick is in there with us. Good night. Good night, Patrick.
Good night, Dougie, and good night, Gray. How you guys doing?
Good night, Patrick. Good night. And then, Dougie, where Calico is located, remember, apart from where we now start developing the leeward side, the majority of the hotels are really in this area.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
So the Calico Heart Code could be developed so that persons could come and use it because they, I remember when the Kingston Medical College used to be in St. Vincent, they used to be coming to Calico and they even used to take part in our basketball tournament. So
yeah, because you have hotels now from Diamond,
right
down to Kingston.
Right. So that's it. So we need to put in some facilities that if we talk in sport tourism, that basically a club in let us say in my area could have like how the basketball club from Calico went to America on a training program. Maybe they might have a club who affiliated to them could come to St. Vincent for a week or two, and the court at Calico will be in such a condition that they could play the games there.
Yep. Patrick.
Yes, sir.
As you know, we started earlier today, and if you don't, you listen. We played the interview from 6:30 with Dr. Shallow.
Yeah, I heard the last part of it.
Yeah, because we have Calypso tent tonight.
At 8:30.
Well, if they start at 8:30, if they start, then I will go. I see I'm looking at the guys in the tent setting up there, and they were waving me, but they know I'm ready for them yet. They have to wait.
You got the party fever man in town, you said, right?
Yeah. Scotch is in town. He called me today. I didn't. It's a whole week he's here, but I just came in Sunday anyway. Yeah, he said he's been here since over a week now. That's my buddy.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. So it sounds like there's a lot of excitement coming up in St. Vincent the next few weeks, right?
Yes. We're gonna have ball rolling.
Exactly. Okay.
And as what you say, the Paul Ski's doctor say, They say ball deviate. He say, but that ain't true. Is eyeball having a ball?
Okay.
What do you want to tell to put on the table?
Yeah. Well, actually, before I would come to St. Vincent if I would see Gray in a costume. But unmasked. I want to see Gray in a costume.
Well, Patrick, my days of playing mass over. I produced mass band for 3 years, so now I'm just relaxing and and looking at it. I done gone past that now, Patrick.
So you're a mass man then, huh?
Yeah, well, I played mass when I was young, and I produced mass band for 3 years. Yeah.
Okay.
99, 2000, 2001. Yeah.
Right.
So I've been involved in all aspects of carnival, not only just playing mass and pan, but I pen a few calypsos also.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's a culture man, no? He's a culture man.
So you're familiar with Scully and Fuzzy and Samo and all the fellas who produced a big mass back then?
Well, I played 1 year with Roy Ralph, and then I played the following year with Moby Dick and Sevens, and then I played a few years when they used to produce War Mass in Calico.
I remember.
Yeah. Yes. And then after I went to Wales to help my partner produce some mass up there, I encouraged him, so we brought mass band here for 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been doing my bit here and there, not only in St. Vincent, but I've been doing it in other areas, you know.
Good.
So you see,
you know what I'd like to see? They don't have historical sections anymore.
No. You used to have fancy, historical,
sailor,
cowboy
mass, Indian mass.
Yes.
Because the historical mass teaches, man. It teaches, you know.
Yeah.
Well, the only person now who trying to maintain the tradition in mass is Blondie Border. All the others coming in bikini and feathers.
I know, they just lose the whole that part of the teaching aspect of mass is lost. I mean, back in the early 60s when Bridge Boys bring Egyptians, remember that? And some whatever Samo brought, the chorus was Samo playing mass, Samo play old mass, and the Egyptians lick Samo, you know. So those days were good.
Who played the sporting mass? I remember a mass where you had people playing the ladies in their tennis outfit, the white tennis and the rackets. I remember guys have the cricket ball and the pads and the
bats. That wasn't too long ago.
No, there was a sporting mass.
Yeah, I remember the mass, Dougie.
Yeah.
I remember that. Who brought it? I must go to the archives and ask my niece to check the archives and let me know.
And the first war mass I played was war in Saigon. Was you know, and I was a Vietnam. I get blown up on the stage. They had to lift me off the stage.
Yeah, you see, it's mass with a purpose, and you're teaching, and everything you do, you should teach. You know, you should relay something. But you know, I was listening to Shallow, and I think we got to realize too that underuse is just as bad as overuse. And we got a stadium there. We got to be more people-centered. And we got to think about the citizens of the country. And football is your more popular sport. You know, and eventually the revenues from football could be greater than cricket, you know, in the overall perspective, you know, because look, so much can come out of bringing international teams there. You know, players will get exposed. They can get scholarships. They'll get contracts. They come out. They make a good living. More players than would happen in cricket, and then eventually go back home and help the country in football. So yeah. I mean, Patrick, you know, don't leave it there. It'll underuse could hurt it. Yes.
Patrick, football will be played.
Okay. Yeah.
The Prime Minister, as I said, was speaking from an emotional, reactionary kind of, because, you know, there was a certain amount of resistance about when and how we spend monies. So to me, he was just reacting. But, you know, reality comes in when the bills have to be paid. You know. Patrick, you could go into a car dealership in America, right? And you can go and buy a Mercedes Benz. And you walk out and you have a Mercedes Benz. And you not earning above and a lot of extra monies. The problem is now when you have to pay that car note every month.
And maintain it too.
Exactly.
Okay. Most of these parts are very expensive.
So I'm just saying to you.
Yeah.
So we have the Mercedes down at Annesville.
Yeah, yeah.
And we have to maintain it. We're right by the sea, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
But
so,
here's the interesting thing. If you use it right, it'll maintain itself, you know.
exactly. That's what the
It'll
point I'm
maintain
making.
itself.
So
Yeah.
once there is and you set your parameters for having events in the facilities.
Of course.
Yeah.
You set conditions and you don't overuse it. You know, you use your discretion and your common sense, and you satisfy everybody. Yeah.
You earn money to upkeep it and maintain it and pay the note.
Yeah.
Because
But again,
what is 38 or 50 million dollars? $38 million ain't 38 cents, you know.
we know. But when you have a facility like that, you don't just leave it there. You get full use out of it. You get the fullest use from it, and then it's really worth it.
Roger Gurley.
Hey, what's up, my brothers?
Roger, how you doing?
Yeah, good night, Roger. Good night.
Night.
But you keep hiding your face, boy. You keep hiding your face.
Hey, listen. Let's congratulate Cornelius. What's Cornelius' last name? Stewart. On being the Golden
Champion.
Boot winner in the Bangladeshi League.
Okay, that's good. That's great.
Yes,
Good
yes.
news.
It doesn't say how many goals he scored, but he's the most goal. He scored the most goals in the league, and that's the trophy.
Could you WhatsApp that information for me, because I didn't see that?
Yeah, this is on a sports group chat here among some fellas in the US area. You know? I think Jomo is on that thing, and a few fellas in St. Vincent on that group chat. So they pass a lot of news on all the time. So I just thought that we should. I know it wasn't talked about in St. Vincent, but we need to congratulate him. You know, to on that. That's an accomplishment. That's a good accomplishment.
Yes, definitely, most definitely.
And remember now, just before we leave, Saturday is the Champions League, and we got the German team, Dortmund, Borussia Dortmund, playing against the Spanish team. Real Madrid. So that'll be an excellent contest.
Yes.
Contest.
What time for the game, Patrick?
It's 10 a.m. our time. 10 a.m.
Okay.
It's at Wembley Stadium in London.
Hopefully by Saturday I should get my system up and running, and hope I will see the game.
That hope, you better have your system up and running.
Hoping to get. I hope.
Good games coming on. There's some very good games on. And then I don't know if Paramount Plus may have it, but there's the CONCACAF Champions League is on Saturday night, I think around 9 o'clock or so, because the Columbus crew from MLS who won MLS, the MLS champion is playing the team out of Mexico, Pachuca, and the MLS Columbus crew has Wilfred Nancy coaching them. He's the only black coach in the league. He's the first black coach to win MLS, and he won it last year. So that's interesting as well.
Okay.
So there's a lot of football coming up.
Well, Kenny Sylvester just sent a note here. He said, Cornelius showed the top goal scorer in the Bangladesh League. That's what he said.
Right. Is there mentioning how many goals he scored?
No, he didn't. I guess he's listening. Kenny, he sent me this. He sent me the link.
Right.
So Vincent Cornelius Stewart is currently the top goal scorer and Golden Boot winner in the Bangladesh Premier League.
Yep.
The game left, one game left, and the race of Golden Boot is practically over. However, a debater can create a magic and turn it around. He didn't say he said, let me see, Cornelius, 19 goals.
19 goals. Good, good.
Yeah, and Debate is 17 goals and Gomes is 14. So
Okay,
yes,
okay.
I got it, Cornelius. Thanks a lot. I got the link. So I see the
Right,
link
right.
there.
So there's no question about his, there's talk about him maybe being a little bit too old for this team and all that sort of stuff. With stats like that, current form of Stewart, you've got to strongly consider him in the team for the June. Hopefully you make it for the June
I hope so. I
tournament
hope
games.
so. Yeah, because the experience alone that he has.
Yes.
The
Yeah,
experience
because this
alone
is a
that he
very
has.
young team. This is a very young team they have now.
Yeah.
So they need his experience. They'll need Kyle Edwards and the other gentleman who plays here in USL, Olex. I think they'll need them.
Yeah,
It's
because they will add some professionalism to the team.
Let me just give a little bit of information on what's happening out by Abu today, right? Today's game, they had between Pioneers and Caesars Real Estate Mongrenan United. The game ended in favor of Caesars Real Estate Mongrenan United 4-3. 4-3, they won that. So, and tomorrow's matchup is Canaan versus Korea's Distribution Ballers. I try to keep all the leagues as I see Roxel start to give me the Camden Park Village competition, which is good for the community,
Yeah.
So I carried some scores this morning on that. And Sharps is into their second semifinals tomorrow, and I guess either Saturday or Sunday their finals going to be played.
Right. Yeah.
But Doug, you have the idea when the window for the leagues and then supposed to close. I think they give them a deadline, maybe July.
I think it's July because the national club champion. I can't remember what is going to happen, but I think they're supposed to have national club champion coming up.
Gentlemen, if I could chip in here a little bit.
Yes, Roger.
Just to announce. Well, I'm not going to the game on Sunday. In Caracou. Let me deal with a home-based situation here. Now, you guys know I've been using Caracou playing field for many, many years. Right? Now, every time there's an activity on a field, you'll be surprised to see they pay people to clean the park. But what they clean is the cups and the bottles. When I say bottle, I mean the plastic bottles. On Saturday gone, I picked up about 15 pounds of corks. Have my guys across the whole field. Pick up about 15 pounds of bottle cork covers. Broken bottles on the field. And the metal from the barbecue grills that people clean and pong off on the ground. No, I'm going to call this person tomorrow. I'm going to appeal to them because I understand that the Kalakov Carnival jump up when it takes place on the weekend. Which is going to be Saturday, but hopefully I can be off by then. But to the sports council, I'm begging you all, please, let them impose this no bottle policy, and whoever's selling must have a receptacle to collect.
Yeah, a bin. So nobody walk away with any cork on the field.
If you have your own little bar, secure, let the covers drop in a particular box or something like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's not good because it's a sporting field. You know?
And what I picked up, I'm sure that there are still bottles on the other. Take a hand broom from home because I borrowed the guy and the park, they shovel and broom. But that was not stiff enough. I had to get a stiff hand broom from home and a scoop to more or less broom in the broken bottles. And I couldn't take up everything still. I had to leave up some cones around the area, tell them try and avoid that area. And this is ridiculous.
Man, they have to rake that. They have to rake it and use a suction, a kind of vacuum.
But they should have, but I don't know if they have that. But it's dangerous for all us.
But there was a no bottle policy, but they're not like nobody enforcing it now. Only at certain events they're looking for that.
But what they need to be doing is to have people pour these things in cups. Because when you sell a man a bay and he flick the cork, he don't care where the cork go. And the thing about it is that whenever these sports council come to cut the park, the machine not selecting corks from grass, and to see the shapes,
cutting everything, and the edges get sharp.
It gets worse.
Yeah.
And people are more vulnerable to get damage. And to take a child from the park to carry them by the clinic or even to hospital is like I just shut the business down in that particular day.
Yeah,
Because
but
my kids
Roger, remember the Calico Park is no longer for sports, you know.
But that seems to be that way. But
No, there is no interest in it for sports.
We shouldn't say that because the primary school uses the park.
Yeah, but the primary school park, but then the people in authority does not see it as an area for sports anymore. You know, they don't see it as an area for sports anymore.
It's a parking lot. I don't mind when people have maybe the private parties and the place is dried, right? It is dry. The park, the surface is not saturated. That they could park on there because you know how the parking where some of the roads and so on, and depending on where the parties are. But not like a couple of years December when it was soaking, they have people parking and they leaving all these furrows, like if you're going to plant potato. And not until I make some appeal that somebody brought a roller and tried to take out some of these creases when after it became a little bit damp, like it was possible to roll, and it still has some furrows there.
No, they wanted topsoil. They didn't want to roll. They wanted topsoil to level it out. And then goalie, if they had really have the Calico area for sport, look so long they have all those boats pull up on the park. Some of them nobody thinking about them.
But they need to get to the owners as well to ask them to have them to remove them or
So
put them on the sea.
No. Well, I one time I said it to one person. I said to the sport council, give them notice, and if they don't move them, take them and clean up the scene and turn them down. And when they want them, they go and pay to get them out up there.
Well, that must be another option too.
No, because if they you could see some of them, since they pull them up, they have never touched them again. So if you give them notice, and if they don't move them, carry me scene and turn them down, when they want them, they go and pay to get it out.
And that's 2 hurricane seasons ago, you
So
know.
so this is the sort of thing because and the bed that they have there is so small and there are so many dead boats there, so then they can't hold on the base to bring them on the park. And since they moved the fishermen from Rose Place, some move up here and some of them tuck up the boat somewhere, and some of the boat never move from the time they bring them and pull them up. You know. So that's the thing. So it is not really a plain area, just an area just there. You know. And if the people want to go use it, you go and use it at your own risk. That's how I see it.
Yep.
Let me see, we have a caller. Hold on. Good night, caller.
Yes, good night, Dougie. Good night, Great. Good night to the other gentleman that is there.
Patrick.
Nice to hear Patrick. Good night. It's nice to hear you guys, Great, speaking about the Calico playing field and so forth, because that's something that I have always been talking about, and the way that they're treating the Calico playing field. I took a couple of pictures some time ago, you know, and I was showing it around that you always having cars parking on the Calico playing field and what's that, and we heard of facilities of playing fields and so forth should not be used for doing these things. That's what will happen, but it seems as though it won't go down for the Calico playing field at all. And Calico is known for a venue of pushing out sporting activities. Is one of the most active playing fields around, which we have known in the years coming up. And to see the way, look, you have Calico has lights. Where are the lights now? Where are the lights now? They were hanging. Now they're all taken down. How long is it going to take to put up these lights?
Wait until we finish Honestville, and then we'll think about it. At this time, we're focusing on Honestville to get it ready. So after Honestville finish, we will get them put in.
Yeah, good. You're hopeful.
Rather to be reality, that's how I see it.
No, you're hopeful that's how you see it, but we had let's pray that's part of
the field don't turn up like Calico. You know, because after a while, I hope that they're going to be maintaining them and so forth. And another thing that I want to check on, guys, before I go, tennis.
Okay.
Where has tennis gone in St. Vincent and the Grenadines?
Well, Peter did call this program a few weeks ago.
Right.
And I tried to get a hold of the person in charge of tennis, but I was away. Now that I'm back, hopefully I could get hold of the person.
Well, I will tell you, Dougie, you know, it was that every 2 years, the tennis was supposed to always have a meeting. The general body supposed to have a meeting. And since this new president and so forth has been gone there has not been no meeting at all, no meetings, no calling of meetings and so forth, and it's gone already past 4 years. And we don't know if the institution, if they put something in class by themselves without the knowing of the public or others. But they, when they got there, they're now saying that you have to wait 6 months to be a registered member. Which in while they got there and that was never implemented. But it seems as though they put that in. So now, because of the grassroots tennis club wanted to register, wanted to be a member, and they told them that they have to wait 6 months. So the 6 months is up, and they have not even. I don't even think that they have replied back to the management of the grassroots tennis club, and that's something that they're waiting on. And it seems as though that these people are just sweeping everything under the carpet because they're not calling a meeting. You're not hearing anything about coaching. You're not hearing anything about tournaments or anything of that, etc. The schools used to have a number of schools going there to play tennis. We're not hearing anything about the school tennis or so forth. Thanks to Kibija down in town who's keeping the children and so forth and the schools alive to play tennis. I mean, tennis had reached a long way. It has gone a long way, Doggy. Your son used to come to tennis too.
Yep.
Your son used to be at tennis all the time.
Yep.
And he was doing good. He was doing well. And to see where tennis has reached in St. Vincent and just fall right back down, it's unbelievable. And tennis is something we had a lot of youngsters from Byra and Georgetown, Antonio Kane, who went to Antigua, played on the 14 tournament and brought back the championship here to St. Vincent. They went to St. Lucia. We had a boat went to St. Lucia to take part in a tournament down there. A number of them came up with doubles championship and so forth. Chanel Lampkin and all these girls. What happened? All of a sudden, tennis has gone. Everybody has leave. I mean, we have Corey Huggins who went away on a scholarship, come back here. These guys could be helping with tennis, but there's nothing doing. And
Corey is in the Grenadines still coaching?
I am not too certain. I know Trevor and Corey Huggins is down there in the Grenadines. Trevor Sam, that's the guy who took Antonio Kane as coach to the Antigua games and came back victorious. But we need to really get tennis back up and running because it had a lot. The grassroots tennis club, where tennis was concerned, had a lot of children and it was doing well. It was doing well. A lot of children was really getting into the tennis. We were having games. We had the ITF tournament came here, Doggy, and we didn't even hear much about it. You had a coaching, a door was open for coaches to go away. Did we send Taj and the guy Huggins away to get involved in these tennis coaching activity? No, we didn't. We sent some other people who really on their way out of tennis, and we have the youngsters here who should have really gone on that course to really come back and help. Now Peter Nanton has retired, and Tony his gears and so over to a youngster who by the name of Taj, very, very disciplined guy. And Taj now is doing, and these guys are charging the amount of money to use a court, $10 a court for children and this and they're not, nobody hearing anything. The tuck shop has been used for cooking food for the level college students to come over and have lunch. I mean, come on. What are the sports council doing about all these things and not getting to them and finding out and having them call a meeting? They are supposed to call a meeting. It's overdue. It's time enough. And nobody there, the president, and nobody is not coming forward and making any statement or saying anything about the tennis. And it's time enough. They need to really step up and they need to come and let people know what is happening to the National Tennis Center as it's supposed to be a National Tennis Center, and let us know what is happening with the tennis center and the youngsters of St. Vincent and the Grenadines who wants to play tennis and who wants to be interested and get out there, and make St. Vincent proud. Tennis has reached a long way. Look where swimming is now.
Carla, Charles,
that's great.
A question. The grassroots tennis club was never a member of the tennis association?
No, it was not.
So at the time when the guy who was actually running the grassroots who used to be around, He didn't involve in the National Tennis Association at one time.
Yes, he was, but after they had elections and he was not voted in for presidency and so forth, and he just continued with his grassroots tennis and what's not. But
Yeah, but the question I'm asking, why he was part of the association? Didn't the grassroots tennis club was a member of the association at that time? He didn't have the grassroots at that time.
When he went back, you know, they told him he's not a member. He has to wait 6 months to be a member.
Yeah, that's what Peter said, and then they never could get any call. So
they never got any calls, and they just changed everything up because you see they were making away, as way I see it, they were making away of that 6 months just in case of the call a meeting that, you know, they wouldn't be voted out and so forth. And that's not right. When they got there, they didn't have to wait 6 months. They didn't have to wait 6 months, you know.
No, well, if I remember what Peter said after this president go there and they made some changes to the constitution, because before it was 2 years and they put it to 4 years, and they made some changes.
Well, they don't know. This is it, and we don't know if they made their thing, but now it's gone. But great, there should have been a meeting since 2019. What we in now? And it's gone long past the 4 years now. If even they put it to 4 years, it's gone past that. And still, they are not coming forward to say anything at all. Since 2019, a meeting should have been called. Yeah, and we ain't hearing nothing. They haven't called any meeting to let anybody update anybody on anything at all. You know, and after grassroots now has been moved from the where it was in town because they wanted to say they were going to build a garage and whatnot. We see what is happening down there now. And a lot of kids now, after that, went back on the street. Went back out on the street, nothing to do.
Let me ask you a question. Are we talking about the facility, the tennis facility right by the prep school?
No, not the Triangle. He was speaking at the
in Villa, City College.
No. He's talking to the one at Maurice Road.
Maurice Road. Yeah.
That's
what's happened? Because I used to go and sit and watch. I can't remember his name.
That's a private. That's a private. It belongs to Haddon Hotel. Hold on. Haddon Hotel had leased it to Grand Connell and the grassroots tennis.
Right.
But then I think Stargarage just had press for place to park their vehicles. And they were supposed to build a building where the Hadleys had that property above looking over on the tennis court. But that has not matured. They started the foundation, but nothing else happened since.
I'm talking about the facility in the Beachmont area, right?
Yes, that's the same one.
Right next to the agriculture department.
No, that is a triangle.
The triangle that's still there.
That belongs
still there. Okay.
That is functional.
That's functional.
But it's only one court, right?
Right. One court. I remember seeing two. Are you sure one court?
No, only one day. One.
Only one. Because I remember it was a thriving program that the gentleman ran. I used to go there and sit and just watch him and talk with him. He's can't remember his name now. The dread guy.
Russ. Yeah, Russ. Yeah.
What's his name?
It still happens.
Okay. Good. Well, at least you got that. But anyone can register there to practice and play.
Yeah. Because I know you could go there and speak to him. Right. I think royalty will help to take care of that facility.
Right. But it's not enough, is it?
No, it's only one court.
Right.
You have to sit. They have a nice little pavilion where the children could sit and watch.
Exactly.
It's only one court. It's only one court.
Yes, but you see, what we need to really hear from the president and his members of what is happening with tennis, and we need to really focus on our youngsters now, because as we see what is happening, the children right now, youngsters right now, we need somewhere for them where sporting is concerned. And even though wrong in Kelloqua, we see where I'm seeing on the hard courts at evenings, you see the youngsters playing basketball on the courts, no lights, but because they're determined, they want the game, and they have no other choice but just bounce in the dark. you know, and these courts and so forth should have been lighted. Kelakwa could have a lighting process. We don't even know what is going on. Is it something spiteful that they're doing to Kelakwa hard court and to the playing field? When you look at, they had a meeting wrong there and they mounted icebox and cars, vehicles parking on the playing field. That's not making the playing field any better. That's damaging the playing field. And the Prime Minister said that he don't want anything to be happening to hard courts and football fields and so forth. But is that really what he meant? I mean, come on, let's keep the courts and the fields and let's put them into good practice.
But let me ask you this thing, Roger, especially Roger, regarding the Calico field. You know Marvin Fraser, right? Isn't Marvin in charge of that? Part of that?
Well, under the sports council. No, well,
what's
he is
Marvin's
under the sports
position
council.
there?
He works in the sports
council.
council.
Is responsible for cutting the parks, but the National Lottery has authority, I think.
Right.
Well, the only thing they do is come and cut the grass, Patrick. They only cut the grass, and that's all they do is maintain. Just cut the grass.
Just cut the grass. Okay.
Yep.
So who's in charge of putting up a sign saying no cars, no this, no that, clean up after yourself, and being reinforced? Isn't the police station right across the road?
Yeah, but then here, Patrick, the facility, right? What there is one organization responsible for cutting, another one responsible for thing, and then even the building they have, they put as just in room. Another organization control it. So then, when it's a whole sort of mix up thing going down. Because as far as I understand, the tongue board responsible for that building they put there, and sport council and lottery responsible for some other thing on it. So we don't know really who really supposed to do what.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you have basic policy about bottles and whatnot, that helps everybody who's using it. I mean, that's something that you want to do anyway. You want to keep it clean. You don't want bottles and cups and whatnot and boats and whatnot all over the place. Put signs up and inform the police to try to just patrol every now and then and enforce it.
Gentlemen, before I go, Roger, I want to say you have been doing a wonderful job with your classes that you normally have, and you also keep the fields in a way that you protect your youngsters when you're training, and I hope that you will continue that. Great. And Roger, I have a name here, Courtney Franklin. Does that name ring a bell to you guys?
I heard the name, but I don't sure if I could put a face to the name.
Okay, but this guy had award when Justin was around. This guy had 4 awards for sports: basketball, table tennis, cricket, and football. He got 4 awards, right? And he played, I think, for the under-19 West Indies team, I think. And I think he picked up some wickets or most wickets or something like that, right? And I want to know, when we have these youngsters doing at this level with their talents and so, what are we doing for them? What are the sports council or people who are in charge are doing for these guys to help them and make sure that they get the achievement of what they really want? Because this is a young promising player that we have in St. Vincent. Are we going to leave him to go down around and deteriorate and spoil when we should be really looking to uplift him? I would like you guys to really find out about him.
Yeah, but Charles, is that clubs? Those are the duty of the clubs to keep those players together. Not the duty of the sport council.
Charles, did this guy attend the 11 college?
Yes, he does. Yes, he did.
Right.
Yes.
Well, I was at the awards when he received. I think he was the he received those 4 awards, and he was made the, what do you call it, the sportsman of the year, I think, at the college.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm familiar with the name. And
yes, that's the same guy. He went to Elbow College.
Yeah, and I think he was supposed to, he would have made the West Indies under 19 or something like that. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Right. So that's why I'm saying, Roger, when we have these youngsters like that at this age, and doing well, we need to put things in place and make sure that these guys stick to the basics. As Grace said, the clubs should really
the clubs are who's supposed to keep these youngsters together.
Right. So when the clubs do that,
this is a youngster who attended the 11 college. He went to the sports department aspect of it at the 11 college. So I don't think he's assigned to a club per se. But what Chad is saying, he received these awards at the 11 college award ceremony.
Yes, right. but in order to, if this is how I remember the structure, in order to to make a national team, you had to be involved at some level at club.
At what sport?
Well, he say he make West Indies.
Well, he played for
some of the West Indies tournaments. So what?
He played for a local cricket club here.
Well, right. So as a cricketer, the club has to be responsible to help him to maintain his standard and improve. It is not really the.
But
I think you can look at employment or something like that.
While the club is doing that, right? What are the others looking for? The clubs bring them, and how do they get into the national level when the clubs are there?
But even though you get into the national cricket team, I could talk for cricket, right? Now the club, because I've been in cricket, after the tournament, done and you represent him, you come back, your club is who?
Right. Doggy, thank you guys for your time.
Yes, okay then. All right, okay.
Right. Yeah, the clubs are the ones who's supposed to make sure that the players maintain, practice and develop the skills. You know.
We have another caller online. Good night, caller.
Yes, good evening, gentlemen.
Yeah.
I think this may be the for only opportunity I may have before the World Cup cricket to actually get going.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now there's a rumor going around St. Vincent and Grenadines within the last couple of weeks about the renaming of the PHP Pavilion in the Annisdale playing field to be named after Winston Davis. Let me say it here and make it clear. As a member of the silent sporting community, we would accept no second-hand naming of anything after Winston Davis. Winston Davis has been our most outstanding cricketer of St. Vincent and Grenadines. And I don't see why he should settle for second-hand naming of any facility other than naming the Annisdale playing field after Winston Davis. PHV contributed to the development of the Annisdale playing field when it was fenced with galvanized to when it was fenced with bricks, concrete bricks. It's a disrespect to Mr. PHV to remove his name from a pavilion that he invested in and name it after anybody else. It's disrespectful to Winston Davis' performance for St. Vincent and Grenadines and most of West Indies to be taken off somebody's name and put it on his own.
I agree, you know.
We would accept no second-hand naming of anything after Winston Davis.
Is there a name for the tall stand, caller?
Listen, there was a stand that was named after Rudy Matthews. It was transformed to the new stand they have there. But that is still a second-hand naming. Every nation in the Caribbean who had the West Indies team respected the players and honored them with something. You have the Vivid Stadium in Antigua. You have a Brian Lara Stadium in Trinidad. Winston played for West Indies. West Indies was in its heyday at the top of cricket. While we are at it, the other countries have knighted their players who played in that era. What are we waiting for tonight, Winston Davis?
Well, remember, everybody got their own agenda,
Yes, we know, as old people say, everybody monkey is the pet, but Winston is our monkey, so he be our pet.
Yeah.
Does it? Caller, would you
have anything after Winston?
Caller, would you agree with the stand being named joint name PH Vera Winston Davis stand?
I would not agree with it.
You wouldn't?
No.
Because stadiums within a stadium, there are different pavilions or end of the field or a stand. That's named after two athletes.
I felt the combination name was fitting. Why? Winston worked basically with the investment of PH Vera.
Okay.
He worked with Flour Mills, and Flour Mills owned 40% by PH Vera. So they supported him.
But that is still a dishonor to PH Vera to remove his name from the pavilion and add, because you're now taking and adding.
I understand.
Let us just name the facility after Winston Davis.
Well, I think a compromise with if they don't do that, there's no There's no disrespect by having a joint name on the pavilion.
But
They still both represented.
Investment by Sir P.H. Vera when nobody wanted to invest in the place. When every other stand in pavilion in the park was wood. That was the only car we saw in the park. Let's not deprive the man of his input into the facility.
No, but he did a lot. He did a lot for and spent, and not just that, P.H. Vera, as an investor in the country, lost his shirt in the first flour mills. And the second one is alive today and kicking, and government owned 20%. He did a lot. Thirdly, all this broadcasting of cricket over the years and in St. Vincent Grenadines was sponsored by P.H. Vera when there were hardly any other sponsors on national television.
That is quite true.
So we have to pay attention to the genesis of how we were kept informed and we were cultured into the particular sporting fraternity. So it's a hard one. I was upset when I heard that. I say these people, like they want to wipe off the historical events of what took place at Annisville.
Well, that was P.H. Vera invested in that pavilion when everything else was wood. That was the only concrete pavilion in the park.
So he invested monies in the squash complex too.
So the man invested in sports in general. So let me don't deprive him of what he invested. Let us just name the facility at the Winston Davis Cricket Stadium. It's done.
I hear you.
I mean, Guyana has honored Clive Lloyd with making him Sir Clive Lloyd. The Bajan honored Gordon Greenidge, the Antigans, Richards, Ambrose, and whatever. Let me give Winston Davis his night out too now. He has contributed a hell of a lot to St. Vincent cricket. He held two records. The regional shell sheet record in 1981 and 2 years later, Cricket World Cup record.
I got you.
And to Carlos, you need to let me just say to the tourism minister, you need to look at cricket history before you get ready and talk. Have a good night.
All right. Good night, my brother. All right. Nice radio for nice people. Sports highlights. We're waiting on the tent. It looked like a 9 o'clock start, so we got 8 more minutes, Patrick. What else you want to tell us?
I just thought that it's not diminishing anyone's contribution to cricket if a stand is named jointly, especially since you say Winston was closely related to P.H. Vera and his business. I don't see where it's diminishing his contribution at all. Are they thinking about removing his name totally from the stand?
Well, that is what has been said. I don't know if it is true, but that's what is said. But that's the national discourse, and a lot of people are upset about that because we got a caller. Let me take this caller quickly. Good night, caller. Hello, caller. Person disappeared on me there. Okay, person disappeared. Yeah, so I hope not. I hope that is not so because history is history, and and history is factual, and when you try to change history,
you can't change history.
You try. So when you try,
Good
night, caller. Good night, caller.
Good night.
Yes. Hey, how are you?
I'm fine.
Don't find your blow away, man. Wind blowing on Annisville,
cool.
Wind blowing on Annisville.
Well, I mean, I too, like the caller before, was very disturbed when I heard the whole thing about the removal of P.H. Vera. Apparently, they're saying that they didn't they rebuilt this stand, but P.H. Vera's contribution to cricket and to that development of that stand in the Annisville Stadium is second to none. He has put in significant amounts into the development of the stand, and to remove his name from it now is a slap in the face, to the history of St. Vincent the Grenadines, to the legacy of cricket and all that they're talking about. Winston Davis has made a significant contribution. Has made significant contribution to cricket also, and in many of the grounds in the world over, there have been ends that have been named after cricketers. You have the Malcolm Marshall N in Barbados. You have the Joel Garner N. Winston was a famous fast bowler. Why not name one of the ends the Winston Davis end in terms of that push proportion of the run-up being named after him? And they have them labeled in Barbados. You look and you see the Joel Garner end. You see the Malcolm Marshall end. They're labeled there. They're there. People see it. The people know it. The commentators talk about it. So it always keeps the memory of these players in the forefront of the cricketing public when cricket is being played there. So to remove Sir Philip Vera's name from the PH Vera name and to tell me you're going to share, I don't think, no. I don't agree with that sharing thing. I mean, that is an afterthought. There's a double-decker stand, for example, that is not named. Why can't they name that Winston Davis Pavilion if they want to do something there? That was never named. That was a new stand built there. Okay? So there's so many other things there that can be done in terms of thing, rather than to throw away and remove Sir Philip Vera's legacy from that place. It would be a slap in the face and a shame if we allow that to happen. But then again, Simmons is the only place with a welcome and an enum, so anything could happen. Anything.
So true.
Yeah. Good night, guys.
All right. Thank you very much, my brother. Nice radio for nice people. Sports highlights. We have a couple minutes to wrap up now because I believe I get a start and I'm have to pass over to the Russell's auditorium in 4 minutes time. The guys could get ready for dealing with our sponsors and things like that after I turn over. So
yeah.
Patrick,
yeah, but just to finish up on what Brahms was saying, Davis does, I saw it as a last resort, but if there's another stand there that's our name, if there's an end that's our name, then Winston Davis has to be the first person up for that. He's been, he's represented the country well, the West Indies well, and you have to, you have to honor your heroes, and you have to keep their name in the public. You have to motivate the youngsters. You have to show them exactly what you produce, the greatness you produced before, because they know they could do it again. So I think it's fitting here if there is some place that you can put Winston's name. I've met him a couple of times, and he's he's still alive and doing well. So yeah, I listened to. We'll probably leave it for next time, but I listened to Shallow, and I wanted to just comment on some of the things that he said, and also I listened to him yesterday when he was with Mason and Guest, So, and one of the important things he said was that the whole idea of revenue sharing.
Can I take a last caller? Let me take a last caller.
Yes.
Because I'm having problem with my data down in Russell's. Good day, good night.
Yeah, good night, nice radio.
Yes, quickly, we only have 2 minutes.
Yes, and I'd be less than that. The suggestion by the chap who called a couple calls ago is an excellent one. Perhaps we should name rather than the Annisfield Sporting Complex, the Winston Davis Sporting Complex. Over and done with, and let other things remain as before. Winston deserves that. Thank you.
I hear you. Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Okay. Nice radio for nice people. Oh man, sometimes technology just frustrates you here. I'm trying to put data on my mobile modem, and it just won't allow me. I don't. It's frustrated. Well, I don't. Let me see. Before you continue, Patrick.
No, we could talk about this some other time.
Yeah, but before you, Nikki, wave me if you're ready. You're not listening to me, Nikki. He's there, but he's not paying attention to me. I guess he's not listening. Okay. All right, I will text them. No, but go ahead, Patrick. Go ahead.
No, I think one of the things that I think I mentioned it here before, he said that they were looking into another financial distribution model, because this whole thing about India and the way funds are distributed, simply because India is at the forefront in terms of revenue, income into
Yes,
cricket.
yes.
I think that's good, and I think I mentioned it here before. What really needs to happen is the ICC needs to step in. The other test playing nations and the ICC needs to really realize that the game needs funds. India needs its opponents. They're fans who follow the game, and
Okay,
nothing
the
happens in a
guys,
vacuum. You need
we gotta
everybody to keep the
we
game
gotta
going.
leave it there. We gotta leave it there, Patrick.
Yes.
See you Wednesday.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
Okay.
Okay,
We'll talk
Sunday
again
night,
next time.
Dougie. All right.
Sunday.
Good night, gentlemen.
I gotta
Good
go.
night.
Gentlemen, good night. Have a good night.
All right. Okay then. All right. God bless.